Good morning, wrestling fans. Today is Tuesday, November 28th, 2023. Lance Brock here. Welcome to the Tuesday morning episode of 360 Good Morning Wrestling fans. Hope everyone is doing well and having a great Tuesday morning so far. Last night, new episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic is now available right here on Spreaker or YouTube or whichever podcast app or website you listen to on. And on this morning's episode, I am going to go over that episode of Raw last night once again. And possibly the biggest part of the show last night is who was in attendance in the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee last night. And that is former president of TNA Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, Dixie Carter. Pictures got out online of her taking pictures with Drew McIntyre and her storyline nephew EC3. So if you want, you can go and I'm sure find those pictures on Instagram. I'm sure they're probably there. Probably can easily find it if you look. And now back to Raw from Indianapolis, Indiana. And our commentators tonight, Tony Schiavone, Excalibur, and Taz. And we have a match for the AEW International Championship on the line. Jon Moxley taking on Orange Cassidy, with Bryan Danielson getting the win, and Samoa Joe getting the win. Sorry about that, reading the wrong year. Samoa Joe getting the win over AR Fox to advance in the Continental Classic. And we also had Mark Briscoe and Rush compete in a very good match. Switchblade, Jay White, and Swerve Strickland. And Jon Moxley and Jay Lethal as well. Of course, last night, the first hour of Raw was completely commercial free, where we saw that tag team turmoil, and it actually was that tag team turmoil match that actually took up most of the first hour of Raw last night, which, to be honest, had no complaints from me, because I thought it was a very good, solid tag team match that was very well worked. And they just put on what I thought anyway, was a really good main event. With no surprise, the main focus point on last night's Raw was the return of Randy Orton to WWE from this past Saturday night's Survivor Series premium event, which going into the Survivor Series, you should have expected to see this. It shouldn't have came as a surprise to you. I don't know anyone who really should have been surprised to see the return of Randy Orton. And I even talked about this Saturday night on the media scrum, the press conference after. Yes, a lot of the talk on the dirt sheets, all the wrestling websites online, the talk did kind of die down a bit, and it kind of, I don't know if I would say disappeared or not, but it was still there. And my problem with this segment of Raw was all those streamers that they show that do Twitch or Snitch or whatever, Twitch Stitch or whatever it's called these days, that video game streaming website, YouTube, all that stuff. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, because I'm a nerd who's obsessed with pro wrestling. But if those were real wrestling fans, those, I know you can't see, but I'm doing the finger quote thingy. If they were real fans, they would have been online. They would have seen the news reports from the Dave Meltzers, the Wade Kellers, the Alvarezes, and they would have seen all this talk about CM Punk coming back, and they would have expected it. There was no reason to be surprised when you saw CM Punk come out the Survivor Series. But it's just people that go on these websites, on the YouTube, on the Stitch, on the Twitch, or whatever it's called these days, and they just try to get views. They know if they set a camera up and they act surprised just because they saw something that they already knew what was going to happen, that they're going to get views, and people are going to go to their channel and they're going to click on their videos to watch their fake reactions to something they should have known was already going to happen. I'm sure now I probably sound like Vince Russo or Jim Cornette complaining about current pro wrestling, but that's the way I feel about those streamers that are on Stitch, or is it Twitch? I don't even know. Or whatever the young people these days call that website. And they ruin pro wrestling. And I think those ones that do the stream and that don't even know pro wrestling, that should have known CM Punk coming back was no surprise at all. They're the problem with pro wrestling. And like I said, the real wrestling fans are the ones like me that follow all the dirt sheets, that follow all the podcasts, even the bad ones like mine. And that's all I have to say. And that is all for this episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Thank you everyone for tuning in this morning to the podcast. I appreciate everyone listening today. Hope everyone has had a great morning so far on this Wednesday. Once again, I will be bell ringing here at the Taylor Walmart. So of course, if you are in the Taylor, Michigan area, come up and say hi if you want. Like I said, if you're in the area. But today's Tuesday. Not sure if I will be doing a special live stream of 360 Wrestling Fanatic or not. But I might be, so just in case, stay tuned to right here on 360 Wrestling Fanatic. But until then, everyone, have a great pro wrestling day.